watched Timmy San's latest podcast episode where he had Jola from I Said What I Said on the show as a guest. And I want to say that I think Jola is absolutely brilliant and I really like her perspective on what they talked about in the episode. And one of the things they touched on was how exhausting and overwhelming it is to be in the media or entertainment, industry in Nigeria. And it's something that I've been curious about because I always wonder to myself how people can afford to show up in an extravagant way for every event, and the event seems to be back to back, right? So there's a movie premiere and you see people dressed up, they look beautiful. Of course, the Nigerian culture is beautiful and people come out in all this very beautiful attires, but then it costs money to do that. And then I ask myself, how can you afford to live this lifestyle where you're showing up for every event, you're buying ashoebi for every celebrity wedding, and you're doing this and that? Like, how do you have savings? How do you plan for your future? Like, is this make-believe? Temisa and Jola talked about how to an extent it is make-believe because it does look more glamorous than it actually is. Well, the reason I'm talking about this is for young people who are led by social media and who like to compare themselves to other people they see on the media space, on Instagram or TikTok or some influencer, and then you're putting pressure on yourself because you're seeing somebody that is 23 driving a G-Wagon, or owning a Range Rover, or traveling to different places, and you're thinking, God, what will happen to me? Why is my life like this? There's nothing wrong with your life. I cannot say for a fact how they were able to achieve what they achieved at that young age, but I will say one thing, that everything that you see on the social media space can sometimes be made up, right? You don't know how people have been able to curate their lives in such a way that they will appear as more than they actually are, if that makes sense. So I'm encouraging you today to actually filter what you allow into your life so that you are not comparing yourself to another person and you're not in a rat race. So yeah, think about it.